The time is just gone 8:46 a.m. as we continue this morning. And last week, we launched Aksa Week in on right here on Salam Media, and obviously we've come to the end of this week. And Salam Media has been providing extensive coverage on Aksa Week on a daily basis. And once again, we are doing it this morning. And as we look at what is playing out in Palestine, in occupied Palestine at this point in time, and some dramatic images that we've seen over the last week, and particularly where we see this mass exodus of people heading from the south and back to the north. And once again, just looking at the Palestinians, and they give us so much hope, so positive, knowing that they are not going back to their homes. They're going to rubble, to mountains and mountains upon rubble. And we've already seen some wonderful images of people already starting to rebuild their lives. And these images have actually stuck with us. And also at the same time, looking at the hostage release or the captive release that had taken place yesterday as well. Again, images that actually blew our minds in terms of what the Palestinians are made of, their resolve, their resilience against all forms of adversity, against brutality. And the same can be said about the people in the West Bank. And we know at this point in time, the situation pretty dire with their grand plan of the annexation of the West Bank, and also the people of Al Quds in Jerusalem. Obviously, no different. We've seen Israel now taking this decision, the Zionist entity of banning UNRWA and its activities. So again, starving the Palestinian population. But again, we need to be united. We need to continue in our quest to support the Palestinians in every way. We need to make sure that we support them in strengthening their resistance. And this is the reason why we are talking this morning with Communications and Campaigns Manager at Africa for Palestine, A4P, Alie Komape. Brother Ali, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Alaikum salam, and thank you for having us.
Yes, wonderful you're able to join us. And again, for the very reasons that I outlined before, greeting you, Ali, there is just so much that we can learn, that we can actually take from the people of Palestine. And we still see, after all this mayhem, after the genocide, we see so much positives that actually come out. And all of this is because of their resolve, and also talking about Aqsa Week, their love for Aqsa, which is central to their struggle for liberation.
Yes, I think we've had a very good week. The campaigns were countywide. In fact, they were continent-wise. Wide. There were campaigns in Malawi. There were campaigns in Namibia. Just in neighboring countries of South Africa, we have had a great week of raising awareness. I think one of the most important things that come out of the Aqsa Week is that Palestine remains the question. So it's been 50 months of a genocide, and at times it looks like it's an irritating subject. We can't discuss something for 15 months straight. So it's been a challenge to keep Palestine on the lips of people, and Aqsa Week has really helped in rejuvenating that conversation. So Palestine has remained on the lips of the people, and I think even after the 15 months, even after what we characterize as a pause in the genocide, because we believe the ethnic cleansing of Palestine is an ongoing project. It doesn't stop until the total liberation of Palestine. But Aqsa Week has done that. It has rejuvenated the spirit of the people's solidarity with Palestine, and we are happy with how far it has went. And when you do say that the images of Palestinians rebuilding their lives, Palestinians starting over, the Palestinian story is that of hope. It's that of the human spirit. The fact is, every year Israel bombs Gaza. Every year without fail. and every year Palestinians rebuild their lives. The Palestinian human spirit to fight, to resist, to persevere, it's timeless. It goes even beyond our history. I think 100 years from now we will look back into Palestinian story and be inspired that humanity always strives against oppression. The Palestinians that are moving from the south to the north back to their homes, um, they with so much hope. Some are celebrating seeing the rebels that they come back to. It's it's quite inspiring, and it shows that Palestinians will to live, will to laugh, will to be with their families. Palestinians have a passion for life. They have a passion for their friends, for their families, for their homeland. And these are just heartwarming images and footage that we see.
Yes, and also Ali, it's obvious that our support, towards their cause and our support in assisting them to strengthen their resistance does not limit itself to a week. And we are heading towards the end of Aqsa Week. And as you mentioned, uh, it's going to happen again year after year. They've been faced with many, many challenges, bombs, settlements, their land being stolen, all of that being taken away from them. So there again, we still need to soldier on, and we cannot allow fatigue or even say that like you mentioned, that this is not a ceasefire. This is a pause at this point in time because one doesn't know what is going to happen next, Ali.
Yeah, look, I feel it's that it is normal. When the October 7th campaign started, the aftermath, we saw South Africans in their hundreds of thousands in the streets. We saw politicians, we saw activists, people from the religious sector. Everybody was uh, raising awareness, protesting on the streets in October. It came November, it came December. Of course, I think it's natural. People get fatigued. And at some point, people feel helpless that how long can we protest? How long can we raise awareness when the situation gets worse? So I think it's natural and it's normal for people to get fatigued particularly in these types of situations. What is needed is something like action. So every time and again, we need to remind people why are we doing this, and we need to remind people that when the Sharpeville massacre happened, when the Bisho massacre happened, when the Soweto 1976 massacre happened, it really felt that South Africa's story of apartheid is never going to end. It felt that the ANC, the PAC, AZAPO, and others who were fighting in exile over 50 years, it's just been too long. But freedom is inevitable. Victory is certain. History shows us that the oppressor never wins. It's always the oppressed that become victorious. So ordinarily it does happen, but we need campaigns like AXA Week to like rejuvenate our efforts.
Yes, Ali. Also rejuvenate, but again, united in cause, united for a purpose, as we have seen the Palestinians throughout this genocide, united in purpose. And for me, what also stood out was yesterday when we seen the captive release that was taking place, and how united the people of Gaza were, how they rallied behind the people, behind the resistance fighters of both Hamas and Islamic Jihad as well. And that alone was a spectacle on its own, where they they have not put any blame on any of the leadership. In fact, they actually praised the leadership. And again, what the resistance had actually done is issued a very, very powerful, a very profound statement to the rest of the world, how strategic they were in terms of the release, where they had done it, the locations. One was done at the Adwan Hospital, and we know what had taken place at the Adwan Hospital. We know what had taken place with Dr. Hussam Safia as well, and also the home of Yahya Sinwar. So the Palestinians haven't forgotten. They appreciate what has happened, and they are prepared to take on any challenge, and especially having after having emerged from a terrible ordeal of over 15 months again. So many lessons. There is just so much we can take in terms of struggle, in terms of resilience, but more importantly, to continue.
Oh, of course, and I think the the disparities between what has happened with the hostages is quite profound. We believe. You see the hostages that were held by the resistance coming out happy, smiling, healthy, looking good, and some have even spoken about how their their captors kept them safe. They felt safe. They've developed friendships with the resistance and so on. And I think this comes to show that even though our oppressors are evil, brutal, we don't have to be like them. And in fact, the resistance has come out and said some of the hostages were killed by Israeli bombing. In fact, when after the October 7th campaign, we were told that the resistance beheaded kids, the resistance raped women, they took hostages, shot them in the head after raping them, all these gruesome things. But what we see now is the demystification of that. We are seeing those hostages coming out, smiling, happy, healthy, and so on. And the hostages that were kept by Israel, when they come out, you can see their shells of their former selves. Um, they have survived torture. Some have died in the torture chambers of what is called Israeli prisons. So the resistance really has shown that besides them fighting for their own freedom, they are still human and they treat others like humans. In fact, one of the Al Qassam fighters was saying that we treat our hostages as Allah dictates in an Islamic way. So what we see is the humanity that comes out from the resistance. Of course, they carry guns, they throw bombs, but they will treat their enemies as if they are their neighbors. I think that is profound. What we see coming out, those images, and of course, I think what our audience must know is that the resistance is not an isolated group in Gaza living in some tunnels somewhere, making makeshift bombs or makeshift guns. No, the resistance is everyone. It's the brother of the sisters in the family. It's the father. The resistance is Palestine. They are Palestinians. They are not shunned. They're not seen as a foreign group. They are embraced because every family in Gaza, every family in Palestine has a fighter in them. Be it they are fighting with guns and bombs in the front lines, be it they are medics in the hospital, be it they are preparing food, all of them, they are fighters. In fact, Palestinians have this popular slogan saying to live is to resist. Just by breathing, just by living in Gaza, going in a daily life, it's a form of resistance. They are refusing to live. They are refusing to be wiped off the map. They are refusing to go to the dustbin of history. They continue to live in Palestine, even in the ruins that they are left to. They are rebuilding. They will live in them. Their story will continue. The Palestine map, the Palestine history will remain. Israel's efforts to wipe Palestine off the map, to wipe Palestine memory, is not going to happen. Palestinians are going to make sure of it, and they are making sure of it right now.
Well, Ali, always a pleasure talking with you, and we do appreciate you taking time out this morning with us right here on Salam Media as we head to towards the end of Aqsa Week. And all the best to you, my brother. Once again, shukran for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam, and thank you for having us.
Ali Komape with us, Communications and Campaigns Manager at Africa for Palestine, with us this morning. We are heading towards 9 a.m. And just to remind you that this hour of news and views is sponsored by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years in Africa and beyond. And next up, we'll be joined by Maulana Muhammad Saliji, Juma Inspirations.